Hello and welcome to this video. This marks part 2 of me trying out Miniverse Make It Minis, and in this video I'm going to try out 2 of their series free balls, and both of these are food related. One thing I immediately noticed is that their shrink plastic wrapper type things don't really work when opening, like they are not that easy to open. With both of these I struggled, so all of these balls really need some effort to unwrap. Either you have to like pick at it until you got everything off, or you have to cut it, but cutting it might cut into the plastic below, and if it's any like the first kit, you're gonna like cut into the display sphere if you want to use that. Now, this one is supposed to be food themed, and it looks like the ball's actually smaller, and it looks like it's clearer. One thing I didn't really mind because I'm not using them as displays, but noticed on the first series was that the plastic was a bit more milky for presentation. So I'm happy to see that it's clear. Now, the first thing I actually got were 2 stickers that totally gave away which project we got because they were pickle labeled. We also get this larger spoon, and if you compare this to the first series of the dessert spoon we got, it is like way larger. And it looks like we are gonna just make some very simple pickles. I really love dill pickles. I think they're super delicious, so I'm really not mad about this project, but I know there's many other great projects in this series that you could get. And I have to say, this jar is very adorable. It has like the Miniverse mini on it that is like engraved as like a glass thing, kind of I guess like a mason jar. And the vinegar is in this super adorable little bottle. One thing I didn't really mention in part 1 is that I absolutely adore the designs of all their bottles and like things that hold things. I mean, the bags you do not really need to keep, and these ones are like a different material. They're not fully plastic. I think they might be recyclable, which I am really happy about. But like all the containers, for example, the like tiny plastics for like these pickles, or the mustard container, which is actually a bit more of a sturdy plastic and all that, are so well made. You can easily just display them on like a shelf or something, which is I think why they made like the kitchen displays and all that, where you're supposed to put the resin in even after you used up the container. Now again, this one is sealed, but at least the seal comes up way easier. With the previous 2 I actually struggled quite a little bit. And as you may have noticed, I didn't even really look at the booklet at all. With this one, I'm going to just freestyle it. If you want to follow the booklet, of course you can, but I saw this kit being made before, so I really wanted to make it in my way. So the first thing I did was put in some of the mustard seeds, and I spread them around a little so they're a bit more all over the place, mainly on the outside. And then I put in a lot of the quote-unquote vinegar resin, and I'm going to put on all of the cucumber slices. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna display the resin, so you might want to be careful that you're not overfilling it. But if you do it right and you can get all of them in, it actually fills the jar up super nicely. And then I just put in some more of these mustard seed. They are a bit shiny, they look more like beads, but they're super adorable. And then I'm using a UV torch instead of sunlight, but you can totally just put it on the windowsill. And lastly, I'm just adding the sticker on top of the lid. Now you may have noticed me not curing it with the lid on top, and that is the reason that the resin will get warm when it cures. So if you have it in a closed-off container, I'm afraid that sometimes it may get so warm it can maybe warp the plastic or something. So to prevent that, I just cured it while it was open and then put it in. And in the next one we have another display with a tiny table, and it looks like we got like a display stand, but I noticed mine had a blemish. It looks like there's like some kind of glue or something just spilled all over the surface, and it has like a nasty like grayish brown coloring, so sadly this one is tainted a little. I hope that it's not the norm that they have these kind of blemishes, because it's a shame if you want to use them as displays for things and it's noticeable. I'm sure you can put the items on top and cover them, but in this case, yeah, it is very much so noticeable. And in this one we also get some tools, and this one is actually the Series 3 desserts. Now, I, for some reason, for this part, totally didn't show the booklets on how things are supposed to be made. So, and of course, which other things we can get, so feel free to check them out online. I don't know why I didn't. I just did the projects on camera. I looked at them myself, but yeah. I guess looking at all the projects you could get is kind of also a thing of like, ooh, I want more of them. But they are so super expensive, so I guess not looking at them, maybe just following the instructions for the one you get might be for the best if you don't want to spend a lot of money on them. But they are super adorable. And we got, actually in this one, we got some cupcakes, some lemon slices, which are super detailed with like clear and then the imprint on the sides, and some raspberries. And this adorable little cream container. And again, for this series, the like cover for the resin comes up super easily. And for all of them, I'm actually using a toothpick instead of the provided tools. I do use the like tongs to place things, but when it comes to things like the offset spatula or the spoon that I give in, I'd rather reserve this as decoration than have resin on them. Now, of course, you can make them part of the display and like integrate them, like cover them in resin and then glue them on, but I really didn't feel like it. So in this case, I'm decorating all of the cupcakes just in a tray because I think it's way easier than having them move around on the display stand or something, and you don't really have to touch them or the resin. And actually spreading this around with a toothpick works really well, and this resin is a bit more viscous, which I really like because that means you can really dome it up if you want to, like I did with the first one. I actually wanted to try on that if you can like really get some height in them, which you totally can. So this is basically just a thing of you decide what to put on which of these cupcakes, how much of the frosting you want to use, and how you want to design them in place. So I just went in and picked up random like little fruits that I put in order and some random amounts of this frosting, and it was a lot of fun. It was very mindless. I could space out, like totally focus on the decoration and all that and do like different variants. And as you notice, I do cure them in between, and that is just so I don't touch the resin. Because as I mentioned in the first one, you don't really want to touch the resin. You can clean it off of your hands, and even though I don't know, I'm pretty sure this should be kind of touch safe. But I would never suggest actually touching resin, even in a kit like this. And as you can see here, the finished result. I'm honestly in love with both projects. I think the pickles looks absolutely adorable, and they actually make my mouth water. They look so much like pickles in a jar that, like in miniature form. I think the execution is great. Like the paint job on them is super crisp again, like in the first few kits. And they actually look like food. Same with the cupcakes. They come with these little pink liners, and I think they're super adorable. And as you can, as I said, you can really be creative with them and like decorate them however you want. I actually had some of the raspberries left, none of the lemon slices, but you actually have a lot of resin left. So I guess if you get multiple kits and you have some resin and some other stuff left, you can be maybe a bit innovative and make something different with them. And this resin is super neat because it has this like more viscous texture, so you can really dome it up. And if you have some clay, you can make your own cupcakes maybe and just decorate some more of them, because actually for this one I had a lot of resin left. For the picker one I used up pretty much all of it, but for things like the cupcake one, you can like just close off the container again and use it later. Now, if you want to know my opinion on like the quality of the resin and all of the other things in the kit when it comes to Miniverse overall, feel free to watch part 1 of this. I actually will put the link down in the description below. But overall, my verdict is these kits are great for people that want to look into UV resin but don't want to pick up a whole bottle and like pick up a lot of equipment to like make cute projects. They're very simple, you can pick them up, make them, put them in the sun, and you're done with them. And you have some really cute, very detailed display pieces. These things are super adorable, and you can even spice them up. Like you can use paints and like maybe paint like a shading on the cupcakes, or like gloss the fruits a little more so they look super juicy and all that. You can like really go nuts with these and just like let your creative juices flow and make some beautiful looking desserts and foods with them. And as I said, some of the kits you have some things left over. Actually, from the previous one, I had some of the like crumble over, the like caramel crumble for my banana pudding kind of kit, and for this one I had some raspberries over and all that. And I'm sure over time there's some more kits where you have things over, so you can just, as I said, maybe pick up some Fimo or something, or some other like polymer clay, sculpt the pieces, or pick up some of the like food looking cabochons and decorate them, or anything like that, and really use up all the materials. And of course the packaging design for like the resin and all of the containers that contain the little fruits and stuff is actually so adorable and nicely made. You can just put it in your dollhouse and stuff. I know that they're not quite doll scale, but I think some of them might work out depending on what doll scale you use. But overall, I think these projects are super fun and super adorable, albeit a bit more pricey, so I can understand if people would steer away from it because of that. Now, there's always a chance that, like the pick a jar, you get a kit that has very few items in them. I thought this was adorable, but of course it's less items than what we got in the cupcakes, and there were like less like detailed items. But I think like the packaging for example, the like tiny mustard seeds and all that makes up for it, because you can display it. It's like a hard plastic packaging, and it will look like really good on like any shelf, because it's not like a throwaway little plastic baggie or like recyclable baggie that you like take out the things and then you cannot really do anything else with them. So as I said in the first video too, overall my experience with this was very positive. I had a lot of fun decorating this. I spent way more time on the cupcakes and all that than it might look like in the video, because that is very much sped up. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so easy to work with, and I guess even if you don't have a UV torch, just leaving it out in the sunlight, the resin is great. It doesn't, like, once it's fully cured, stick or anything, and the colors are super nice and super appetizing looking. So yeah, overall a lot of fun, a super nice project that like comes in every little one of the spheres so far from what I've experienced. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below, like I said in the first video, which of these are your favorite kits, which of these are maybe your favorite desserts, your favorite savory foods that Miniverse makes, and what's your overall opinion about these? Did you love these? Did you not like these? And which things did you like the most or dislike the most? I'm always curious to hear other people's opinion on these kinds of kits. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye bye!